What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm in the RS6. I'm starting out in the RS6. Adam let me borrow it. Today is Operation Get LS back and working. The last time that I drove that car was when Jimmy and DJ were down here, which was almost a month ago. And when I took them for a ride, it was a blast. It was so much fun. But when I went out to the car the next day, the back left wheel, the barrel had re-cracked again, and that would have been the third time that we had welded that crack. And so instead of trying to deal with that and just re-welding it and only driving the car for a couple days before it cracked again, I decided to just let the car sit until I got the barrel. And this box over here is the barrel from 7K. So thank you, Bo. I really appreciate it. And today is Operation Get the LS back and working again. And I'm pumped because I want to start on that front end swap, and it's not going to be anywhere near as easy as I had expected. So we're going to have to talk about that. But anyways, I got to get some tools. All right, so as you guys know, this car has been kind of down for a while. I got the Century front end swap, and I announced all of that, which incredible feedback from you guys. I could not have expected it to have been received that well ever, and it's crazy. So thank you guys. Hopefully we'll be starting on the Century front end swap soon, but before we do that, we have to actually get the car working again. Now it runs and drives fine, but I just have a cracked barrel. So I'm gonna set you guys down. I'm gonna take both the back wheels off because I think the reason why I have a cracked barrel is because my rear tires are too small. The sidewalls are 35s, and with this much camber, the inner barrel is sitting very close to the ground, and I think that's the main reason why. So I'm gonna bump the sidewall size up to a 40 in the back, a little less stretch. There's really not a lot of stretch on it right now to begin with. I think that that will solve my issue, run some higher PSI, stuff like that, and then we'll be in the clear. But for now, I mean, I don't really have a crazy amount of stretch, but it definitely needs to be fixed. So I'm gonna set you guys down, and let's get these back wheels off. All right, so I got the suspected wheel off, and sure enough, the weld has cracked again. So very glad that I have a whole new barrel to put on. These wheels are way too nice to keep having to do this, so I'm very happy now that I'll have a car that works. So currently in this stage of uploading, the Soarer isn't 100% done yet. I'm still waiting on the drive shaft, but that should be here tomorrow. And then when that is here tomorrow, I can do that, finish that video. But at least for the time being, since it's the weekend, I wanted to take some time and fix something else. So we're gonna both learn about three-piece wheels today, how to take them apart, how to put them back together, how to rebuild them, and mount some not so shitty tires on them. All right, so we're at the shop. So first thing I'm gonna do is dismount this tire. This tire has been through some shit. It's already been flipped and just kind of ready to be thrown in the garbage. So this crack has been welded quite a few times, and today will hopefully be the last time that I will have to weld a wheel for a while. Hopefully the new barrel plus the new tire size and more PSI will kind of fix this whole situation. So I've never put together a three-piece wheel or taken apart a three-piece wheel before, so we're gonna learn together. But I'm gonna set you guys up on a tripod so I can get this tire dismounted and then dismount the other one, because I want two new tires for the back just so they match and all that stuff. So I'm gonna set you guys up on a tripod. I'm gonna take this tire off. Alright, so I got both tires dismounted. This wheel has definitely seen better days and seen some road for sure, but peeled this back and you can see how they sealed it. So I'm just basically going to replicate that when I go back to put this back together. I'm going to peel this tape all the way off. This should be satisfying because the wheel is just going to roll. Walking my dog. There we go. Basically, I don't know if I'm going to need to chip all this out or if it'll just pop right off once I take all the bolts out. But I got quite a few to go through. So I'm going to get these zapped off. Thankfully, it's not a nut and bolt hardware. It threads into the face, so not too hard to do, I'm assuming, because it's hidden hardware, but we shall see. I'm gonna also hit up a few friends of mine that have rebuilt three-piece wheels in the past and see what they think that I should do in terms of like torque spec and things like that, because I have no clue. Well, that was easy. All right, so I made a quick phone call to my boy Aiden. Shout out Aiden. I'll leave his Instagram right here. Some of you guys might already know him or not, but he's got some cool shit. He's built a shit ton of three-piece wheels in the past, and he gave me some pointers. So exactly how we're going to do this: we're going to split this wheel. We're going to wire wheel the outer lip, make sure that's all clean, good to go. The new barrel came with new hardware, so we're not going to use this. Basically said to make sure the surfaces were perfect, perfectly clean, wire wheeled, good to go. Sandwich them back together, put the face in there, and then take the new hardware, put a tiny little dab of blue Loctite on it, and then do like 4 or 6 bolts in a star pattern. Torque those 4 or 6 bolts to 25 foot-pounds, and then you can go and install the rest. You don't have to do a crazy star pattern. You can if you want, but he said it really doesn't make that much of a difference as long as the first 6 that you install are installed in a star pattern and all torqued down correctly. So that's the plan. I'm gonna move all this stuff into the office just so that it's a little bit cleaner, and we can do all that in there. But before that, I'm gonna wire wheel this stuff off, and then we'll bring it in. Alright, so everything is done, everything is clean. I went around the back of the face with the wire wheel, cleaned that up. There was like a little bit of adhesive stuff back there, but I was told that I don't need to put any sealant or anything in between the face or anything like that. So I'm gonna leave that. Back side of the lip where it meets the barrel is cleaned up. I wired wheeled that. And the new barrel comes pre-wire wheeled, so that is all set. Basically now it just becomes assembly time. So it's probably going to be kind of weird to like get the face up into the barrel and make all that stuff line up. I think we can figure it out. I forgot these wheels actually thread in from the back, so it'll actually be really easy to put all of this together. I have some blue Permatex Loctite, and I'm just going to put a little tiny dab on each one and start sending them through. Like I said, 4 or 6 in a star pattern first. Make sure that those are all tight, torqued down to 23 according to 7K's website. But because I'm using an extension, I'm gonna do 25 just because that kind of eliminates some of the loss. I'm gonna put a couple in just to hold the face up, and then I'm gonna start putting the Loctite. Alright, so I have 6 bolts in here, all with a tiny little dab of blue Loctite, and they're all torqued to 25 foot-pounds. They're not exactly star pattern, but they will make sure that the face is perfectly flat. And now you can go through and install the rest of the hardware, blue Loctite, 25 foot-pounds, and do all that stuff. So I'm gonna set you guys back up, time lapse real quick, and this wheel will be done very soon. All right, so the final step to putting these wheels together is sealing the lip and barrel together. So if you look, there's a perfect seam, and you basically just take the caulking. Where'd I put the caulking? So this is GE silicone metal silicone sealant. So 3-piece supplies this, and we had some of it laying around because Colette needed it for some of her wheels, so she's letting me borrow this to seal this wheel back up. So basically, with that and the tips from Aiden, run a nice smooth thick bead all the way around. Tape the edge on both sides, that way you don't have a crazy runoff and everything can just kind of be pulled off nice and easily. Tape the edges, run a nice bead all the way around, and then Aiden gave me a tip to use a quarter and put a quarter in here against the seal and run the quarter all the way down around the entire wheel. That'll give you like a perfect lip. So that's what I'm going to try, and both sides are all kind of scuffed up, sanded up, so they'll adhere to the silicone perfect. So I'm going to set you guys back up on the tripod so that I can bang this out, and then I'll show you guys the clips when it's done. All right. Not too bad for my first time. Could be better, but at least the inside seal is all nice, uniform, clean. So that's good. The little excess on the outside isn't that big of a deal. You're supposed to let this dry for a day as well. So I'm going to take this off, let it dry, and then tomorrow I will clean up the edge a little bit, all the excess. Aiden, I hope you're kind of maybe proud of me. We'll see. Not too bad for my first time, but definitely could have been a little cleaner. Man, I was confident I was gonna get it fucking perfect too, because I love tedious stuff like this. This is how my brain is working right now. I'm using a rag that's half clean and half dirty to try and clean a lip, and every single time that the rag touches the lip, it gets another part dirty. Mike Weekend Brain. This is how Mike Weekend Brain works. Alright, so it's the next day and the wheel is all dry. I went ahead and put some tape around the silicone as well, because I noticed from 7K's factory they do that. So not the same kind of tape, but it should, you know, do the job. But anyways, the old tire setup that I had on these were 255/35 on these wheels, which are 11 inches wide, which is crazy to some people, but that's not really a crazy amount of stretch on these wheels. But in order for me to get higher off the ground, I wanted a bigger sidewall. So Colette gave these tires to me as a Christmas present a long time ago, and I haven't had a use for them until now, which I'm super thankful for. They are 245/40/18, which going from a 255/35, this will give me more sidewall and should be relatively a very similar stretch. Not super crazy, but just give me enough to, hopefully I won't have to cut anything on the LS400's quarter panels to get anything to fit, or like change camber or anything like that. I already want to kind of trim the inner lip of the rear quarter out, just because it's kind of just in the way, and it would make taking the wheels on and off that much easier, because that car has 0 suspension travel and it's always a nightmare to take these wheels off. But I'm gonna get these mounted up, try and get these tires on, see if I can inflate them here, and if I can't, then we'll probably either have to use fire or our friend Eric down the street. Fire. So both tires are mounted. Shout out to Freddie and Chris for helping. It's been probably 5 years since I've mounted my own tires, but they weren't too easy to get on, but we got them on. They inflated by themselves. No need to use a bead blaster or anything like that. I was hearing a tiny bit of hissing coming from the back side here, but I sprayed it full of soapy water, didn't see any bubbles, so I'm going to assume that it's going to be okay. I filled both of these up to 50 psi, so I'm going to take these home, and in the morning I'll check the psi's again. And if they changed at all, then I'll know that maybe there's a rip in the bead, maybe the silicone job we did wasn't the best, maybe there's a loose bolt, something like that, but I highly doubt it. I went through and double checked all that stuff, so I think we're good there. I'm pumped to mess around with my first 3-piece wheel, take it apart, put it back together, and not really have it leak at all, which I'm pumped for. if you guys use this video to help yourselves in the future for rebuilding 3-piece wheels, I hope it was helpful. When I put these back on the car, hopefully the LS400 will be all ready to go back together. I can drive it, and we can officially start with the whole Century front end swap. All right, so it's the next day. Threw the wheels on and none of them hit. They still have the same clearance that they did before. So I'm pumped. More sidewall, so hopefully less chance of breaking something. And now the back sits a little bit higher, but maybe eventually down the road we can dump the back down a little bit. But for now, I'm just gonna run it the way it is. Maybe I'll hear less scraping for once and can enjoy this car a little bit more. I'm just happy to have it moving again and have a not cracked barrel. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm gonna end it here, and the next video will be driving the Soarer manual swapped, which I cannot wait for. So I'll see you guys then. Peace out.